So we're gonna continue with the videos that we started yesterday, showing a little bit of the first look, my first impressions of the new jets, right? We're gonna do some tank videos as well today, okay, don't you worry, but I really would like to finish up with the new aircraft, with the Tornado Gr.4, guys, the upgraded Tornado. An aircraft that feels a little bit forgotten, but remember, it has the Brimstone. So, yes, let's take a look on this aircraft that it feels like it is just not that interesting, but at the end of the day, it is pretty interesting at the same time, right? So here we are in the hangar. Differences of the aircraft, as I already said, like in 4 videos. Flare system instead of the left gun. So it doesn't have the left gun, has a flare system over here. And finally, the Mark 103 RB99. 199. Finally. So it has a little bit more power and doesn't have one gun to be able to have this flare system. Couldn't make it work for now. Hopefully it does work in the future. I'm gonna test it out a little bit with you guys, but basically these are the differences. Of course, with a modernization of the aircraft, you come with a lot of new missiles. So we have here the Brimstone, that we're gonna check it out. We have the Paveway IV, which I think there is a difference over here. No, it's kind of weird. So yeah, this is a 277 kilogram bomb, and this is a 2,000 pound bomb, 1,000 kilogram bomb, and they are using the same like model. So work in progress still, okay guys. We shall see the thing. This is the Paveway IV, so I would imagine this is the grayish kind of GBU 12 that they show it in the dev blog, okay? But it is using the wrong model for now. Work in progress. Non-guided stuff, obviously. AIM-9Ms, finally AIM-9Ms for this thing. And it has an interesting pod over here that I'm pretty sure it has a MAL system. So we're gonna test it out, and all things with the Lightning 2 pod, which is, I think it's kind of a BS, you know, because it used the Lightning 3, it used the Sniper, it used better pods than this thing. It's not that it's a bad pod, it's just, it did use better pods. It's like the F-15E, also has better pods than in the game right now. PGMs, everything that we love already, right? So let's test some of the stuff out, starting with the Brimstone that I know you guys want to see. So here we are. The cockpit itself feels like the same with some minor changes, maybe. I have to check. I think this is different, isn't it? We do have a different HUD as well, I think. I have to check. It feels like it is the same, but it feels like it is the new one. So I might be wrong, I might be right. But yeah, cockpit is here. Pretty much the same. The aircraft itself looks very similar, as you see, and as you see, we do have our MAL system. I'm gonna test with you guys in this video if it's the pod itself, because Gaijin actually added a new type of pod. It's 2 pods, this pod and the older pod, but the older pod got buffed. It now can hold like 1,200 flares and countermeasures, so it's kind of crazy. But the Brimstone. So guys, these missiles, they are with the dual mode version out of it, right? But it is limited for you to use in the semi-active laser homing mode, basically, right? So in real life, it has 2 modes. Has a radar mode. This version of the missile has a radar mode and a laser guided mode, but they added with just the laser guided. Why? Well, they say it's because the radar modes are too OP basically for now for the game, and they say it's going to kill a lot of friendlies as well, which the part of killing a lot of friendlies, I completely agree. This thing would just see everything and kill everything, okay? So that would be kind of weird. At the same time, I mean, they can have a little bit of a help. I don't know, it's kind of funny, because that's the thing, right? These missiles in real life, NATO didn't trust them too much in Afghanistan to only use the radar mode. So that's why they have a laser guided mode over here. That's the only reason why they got the dual mode, right? So it's kind of funny, but it is at the same time. It kind of makes sense on that regard. On the regard of being too OP, I don't know. I mean, I don't like to see anybody using a radar missile that can go through like clouds of smokes or anything like that. But I mean, there are other missiles that are very good as well, right? We do have a new afterburner effect on the tornado, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, let's test it out, the missile itself, right? So it is semi-active laser homing, and it has 15 kilometers of range, so it is pretty good. I gotta say, it really is pretty interesting, guys. Let's see if I can fire one. Yeah, I can. Outside of the launch zone, I don't think it matters. Let's see. No, I don't think it matters. But yeah, the problem is, of course, you gotta maintain the laser seeker over here. We're gonna test a little bit of the missile to see if it actually has any type of good inertial navigation system. So yeah, the missile is indeed tracking. Of course, you don't ever do this of just flying above the target, but you know how it is. So very good zoom on the Lightning II. It is a good pod, but it's just that they use better pods in real life, right? My god, this missile takes a lot of time to get there. 3, 2, 1. There we go. So it takes its time, but it is pretty amazing. Of course, you cannot ripple fire them. I mean, you can, but they will only go to one target, right? So you cannot use them in a certain way. Well, I'm gonna try. Let's see if it has... I forgot to actually see this, but let me check first. Hold up. So first of all, just to show to you guys, if you use these, they have 600 chaff countermeasures. It's a lot of countermeasures. I'm gonna test it out if they have some form of no malls because of that. But yeah, Brimstone does have INS, so I'm gonna test one thing because it does have the INS, right? So I'm gonna see how it works exactly with this INS. I mean, it's not GPS guided, it's just a normal INS. If the target isn't moving, maybe you can ripple fire them. I'm gonna check it out. Hold up. So let's just see if the RWR, if we do have a mall system as well. Yeah, so there you go, guys. So if you use this pod, which is the larger one, it has only... I think the model is wrong. That's why I couldn't, like, see the antennas or anything like that. I think the other one is an ECM pod that it has a mall system and stuff, but the model is wrong still, right? But this one will have 200 flares, chaff, and 28 each flares if you choose to use flares. Of course you would, right? And then the other one has only like 200, but they do have a mall system, which is basically an ECM pod. So there you go. So you have to use the pod with less chaff and stuff to actually be able to have a mall. You can use one of each, and they will probably already have that, but I don't know. So let's try to ripple fire this thing to make it work, because if not, it is just a laser guided missile, right? So we're gonna fire one, we're gonna keep it a little bit there, then we fire another one, and then we keep it there, and then we fire another one. Yeah, they were going to the same place there, right? That was kind of weird. It was really weird, but yeah. You gotta, the problem is that once you actually turn the laser on, because when you fire, the laser turns itself on automatically, right? So you cannot use the ripple fire, even with the INS. So yeah, unfortunately, guys, it's not really a Brimstone. It's like a Hellfire with 15 kilometers of range, isn't it? Which is pretty alright. I mean, I'm not gonna complain too much. I still believe it's one of the best missiles out there for air-to-ground. It's just that, I mean, it's not really a Brimstone, is it? But I guess it's okay. See, if you fire the missile, it turns itself on already, the laser, right? So you can turn this off. I'm gonna test. I think you can turn this off. Hold up. Yeah, we hit that. Let me see. Enable laser designator before launch. Let's turn this off, and then we can try. Are these targets moving? Let's see. No, it just misses completely. It just doesn't know where to go. So yeah, you cannot use it even using INS. If I had a GPS system or anything like that, maybe. But yeah, guys, they really limited the missile to just be a normal laser missile, right? The good part is that you can have a lot of range with this thing. So I'm gonna show a little bit of the range that this thing has. We're gonna fly a little bit away, and yeah, we're gonna basically fly perpendicular to the target at 15 kilometers. Because you have to remember, this is a very high BR aircraft, right? And with that, you face Pantsers. We gotta think about the Pantsers, right? So we're gonna test it out, flying very, very far away from these targets. Hold up. Of course, I forgot to mention, we do have, while we go there, we do have our AIM-9Ms over here, and it does have a helmet mounted sight. So yeah, not that it helps too much. I mean, AIM-9s, they're not really that type of missile, but it does help on gaining a very easy and fast lock, you know, while of course an RV-73 would be better to like do off-board shooting. This thing will just be faster to shoot at, you know. It is going to be a little bit easier. You don't have to point your nose to the target and stuff. So it is, of course, an advantage, but it's not as big as an advantage as a Russian vehicle with this because of the missile. Okay, the AIM-9s, they're not really off-board shooting missiles, right? Not right now, at least. Not with the M variant. So think about 18 kilometers. We have 3 Brimstones over here. We're gonna try to use the lock. It's just not working. It's really a little bit bugged, but yeah. 15 kilometers. We're gonna fire on that target, and we are in range. And with that, we can turn. Of course, you can even try to launch a missile perpendicularly, but yeah. At 15 kilometers, 13 kilometers, 14 kilometers, you can still get killed by the Panzer, okay? So you do still need to be careful. But the missile has the range, so you have an option. You acquire the laser, I think. Let's see. Come on, baby. You take your time, right? It's a missile that takes its time. It has a lot of range, but it is a kind of a slow missile at the end of the burn. From these altitudes and these distances, of course, but yeah. I lost my laser. No, I didn't. I don't know. Well, it's still gonna hit the target. So yeah, very, very good. 15 kilometer shot. And a very good. Now let's test the ability of this missile to just do kind of an off-board shooting thing over here. Let's see. We're gonna choose a target. I'm gonna choose that MBT, and notice how we're killing MBTs. You know, we're killing tanks that are very, very strong. We're not gonna force too much. Like, you cannot fire. Yeah, it's too far away. So it's just an UI thing. It's just an UI thing. So you still have to have your nose pointed to the target, and then you can turn, right? So it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, but you can still do this, which is pretty fine. I was trying to do kind of an off-board shooting method over there, but yeah, and the missile is going. So the Brimstone, I gotta say, amazing missile. It really is an amazing missile, but not by any means fire and forget, not by any means something that you should expect from a Brimstone, right? So it's just a laser-guided missile. Has a lot of penetration, a lot of power, but still. If we go to the Paveway IV, remember, these are using the wrong model, okay, guys? We are just using the missile without the bomb, without the actual model for it, okay? They are Paveway, advanced Paveways, okay? So these bombs, they do have a GPS and laser guidance, okay? So for some reason, if you do lose your lock over here, we're gonna try to drop onto that target over there. So there we go, bomb is away. We would turn, of course. I'm not gonna turn, but so for some reason I lost my laser lock or anything like that. The bomb is still going to go to where I aimed, okay? If the target started to move, you can turn the laser on. This is a very good way of trying to just remain silent and stealthy. So it's a GBU guided by laser, you know. Oh, I have to change targets. I can just turn itself on, and make the bomb go to the other target. Okay, so I fired on that one and changed the target, you know. So it's a way of you being stealthy. A lot of these tanks in higher tiers, they do have laser warning systems, so you can have a GPS guided with laser. So it's the best of both worlds, right? So you can shoot in a moving target if it's moving, in a standing still target if it's standing still. If you lose the lock, of course, if you lose the laser for some reason, the bomb is just not gonna not track anymore. And of course you have the ability of basically have an infinite FOV. I don't know if it happens a lot with you guys, but sometimes it might happen where the target basically moves out of the FOV of the bomb where you first dropped, right? And if that happens, the laser doesn't acquire itself, you know, which means that you miss the bomb. Even if it is a guided bomb, you miss the bomb. That was kind of fixed with the INS versions, like GBU-24, for example, GBU-27 of the F-117. But at the same time, it is something that really isn't that good, the INS. It really is, but it's not as good as GPS, right? So the GPS really is the best thing, and now it's guided by GPS, and now you can, you know, make sure that you have an infinite FOV for your bomb. And basically this is it, guys. The Tornado Gr.4 is here. Very cool aircraft, very cool weapon systems, but of course it's just a Tornado, so you tell me if you would like to have this thing or not. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys, see you.